I would first say that Jewish people may not take offense at Easter, but it further confirms to them that this is a foreign religion. It is separate. We have Passover, they have Easter. We have Hanukkah, they have Christmas. We have our faith, they have their faith. This further confirms that because it does seem to be utterly separate to them. They're not cognizant of the idea that Yeshua died at the time of Passover. They're not cognizant of the fact that he rose with first fruits, that he sent his Spirit at Shavuot, at the Feast of Weeks, Pentecost, etc. So this further confirms the separateness. For reconciliation, it's a tall order, and it's almost like fighting City Hall. It's going to have to take God's grace to turn things. But ideally, the church should go back to the earlier custom of celebrating the death and resurrection of Jesus at the same time every year that the Jewish community celebrates the Passover. Within the first few centuries of what we call Christianity, there was a division. One part of what was called the early church, or what we call the early church, these are the Gentile believers in Jesus. One part would celebrate the death and resurrection of Jesus at the same time that the Jewish community would celebrate the Passover. Another group said, no, every year we celebrate the death on Friday and the resurrection on Sunday. And ultimately, under Constantine, they said, we want to make a separation. We do not want to be dependent on these cursed Jews for their calendar, and we don't want to be partaking of their customs. So there was a very ugly and arrogant separation that took place. What I say is, it's perfectly fine to celebrate Messiah's death on a Friday and resurrection on a Sunday, because he did rise on a Sunday, and we believe he died on a Friday. So do that during the Passover season. I encourage churches, and again, it's a tall order because Easter Sunday is a big thing, and the Easter egg hunts and the family coming together and all this stuff. But to the extent churches are willing to do this, throw out the Easter terminology because that is unnecessarily divisive. Talk about Passover and first fruits, and in that context, the death and resurrection of Yeshua. So I have no problem with it being celebrated, his death on a Friday and his resurrection on a Sunday, but do it within the Passover season. That's a way to bridge a gap. It may not be chronologically exact, but it's a way to bridge a gap to say when you're celebrating Passover, we're celebrating Messiah's death. And during this very season, we're doing the same thing. And then to look at the 1 Corinthians 5 passage and to say, as the Jewish community is not eating bread, what can we do to get the leaven out of our midst spiritually? And to really concentrate on that as a season of spiritual purification together with the Jewish people. I do believe that spiritually will come in much better alignment, and it'll be part of the way that God regathers the Jews to their faith in Jesus the Messiah and regathers the church to its Jewish roots, and they can come together around that.
The Hebraic Roots Conference will be held this fall, October 13th through the 15th. This conference is free, but space is limited, so please register your attendance online at HebraicRootsConference.com, or you can call 952-657-7879.